Welcome to Saint-Germain's Valentine message. The theme is Born to Love. And we're ready for Saint-Germain in just a moment, but let's begin with some good, deep, conscious breathing. So with that, take that good, deep breath, opening to the energies of this beautiful moment. Breathe, feeling into the heart of you, this beautiful, beautiful message. Breathe into you, flowing, allowing. Breathe with presence. Oh yes, Saint-Germain is here with us. Breathe him in. Feel it. Let that love flow for each of us. Breathe and flow. It's that breath, that conscious breath of awareness that changes everything. Breathe into you, feeling and allowing.
I am that I am, the beloved Saint-Germain. Welcome to this very, very special Valentine's Day gathering. As we get started with our day, I'd like to pay special tribute and a special welcome to many, many of the Ascended Masters who are gathered here with me today to join in this great celebration. I'd also like to acknowledge and to thank many of the representatives from the New Earths who've come from far and wide to be here, to learn about life on this planet, to learn about love, and to learn about what comes next for them on their many new Earths. And finally, dear Shambra, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. I ask you to take a moment to feel into the energies of the Ascended Masters, into the representatives of the New Earths, into the ones who have come before you in lifetimes past, including those that are your own lifetimes, that have worked so hard, have been so diligent, and have been so dedicated to the way that has brought us to this day. Let's take a deep breath together as we join our energies from the realms of the Ascended Masters to the realms of the New Earths, to the realms of all those who have helped to lay the path in times past, and to each and every one of you who is truly born to love. Let's continue. I'll take to my podium. Our theme is Born to Love. And that's exactly what you've been doing since your very, very first biological incarnation on this planet. You were born to love. Now, it wasn't known back then what love was, but it was known that there was something that would be discovered, something that would be embodied and experienced, something that would be brought forth on this planet Earth and brought to all corners of creation. It would be brought to every realm. And that was the thing that would be known as love. You were born for it from your very first incarnation. Approximately 5,000 years ago on this planet, love was first experienced by any being, anywhere, and it was through the human being that this love was experienced. Yes, there are things before that. There were things of friendship, camaraderie, fraternity. There were all those things that led up to this grand moment of the very first experience of love, something that would be so hard to define, something so difficult to put into words. But as you know, once you have that feeling, that experience, you know it's there. It's not something that you go back and forth in your mind with, am I in love or not in love? When you experience love, you just know it. You don't need to explain it to others. You don't need to justify it. You know that feeling of love. It is so deep, so intimate. It calls on consciousness to be there in its moment of splendor, and it is love. You began to experience love in your lifetimes. Oh, its highs and its lows. At times, it can be so filled with joy. Other times, it can be difficult. It can be challenging. It tests the very, very depths of your soul, this thing called love. But even with its hardships and its pains, you came back time and time again to experience love, to let love grow and to let love expand, and to let love become fully anchored and grounded on this planet. Then, about 2,000 years ago, with enough love spreading all across the planet, so many humans in their incarnations having love and coming back for it time and time again, about 2,000 years ago, it was time to plant the seeds of divinity on this planet. Therefore, also the flower of love. 2,000 years ago, many of you joined right here on this planet, along with the collective being, the being of love, the master of love, known as Yeshua. You came here to plant the seeds of divinity and ultimately the flowers of love. Through Yeshua, there was so much learning, teaching, and experiencing of love. Through Yeshua, the words weren't about religions, very little about God, but the word of this master, this great master that you are a part of even to this day, were about love. And that is eventually what this planet is all about, the planet of love, and letting that emanate to all parts of creation. Because with love, you become aware of your awareness. You become aware of your consciousness. With love, it allows all things to evolve. It allows ultimately this thing of consciousness and energy coming together. And that is the purpose of love, to bring things together. Ultimately, to bring you together with all of your being, with the human and the master and the soul and the I am. Love brings things together. So these seeds of divinity were planted not just in the lands of the Middle East, but they were planted all over the world. The message spread. The energies of love spread in an unprecedented rate. So many believe that love has always been, that the Creator has always known love, that the Eternal One is love. But, dear friends, love was not known until it was experienced right here on this planet by human beings. Love was not known. And now, 2,000 years ago, we have love spreading across the planet. And over the centuries, it was nurtured by the Gnostics, by the Essenes, by the early Christians. It was nurtured in the age of Enlightenment, the age of New Thought, and ultimately the New Age. All along the way, while these seeds of divinity and love were germinating, were taking root, these groups, mystery school groups, groups that were sequestered in quiet, lonely places in the world simply to hold that energy of love, to keep it from getting tarnished, to keep it from getting forgotten and stomped down. These groups of which you were part of at one time or another, whether it was a spiritual group, a church group, whether it was a group that was sequestered somewhere in the mountains, or whether it was in our own mystery school. You were part of these groups that nurtured love on this planet. And here we are today, now. shortly after the time of Heaven's Cross, where we open the realms, we open them to allow more light onto this planet. We open them to allow the conscious understanding that there are many mansions in your house. There are many dimensions and realms that are already here, but you've just closed them so that you could focus on love. You've closed your own self. You've focused your own being on your human lifetimes, on all of your experiences and stories, so that you could focus on love. And now comes the time, right now, not tomorrow, not years from now, but right now on this planet, when love blossoms. For this flower of love, it has taken root over these thousands of years of time. It has grown its stems and its leaves. It's been watered by compassion, by your goodness. Its sunlight is your consciousness and your awareness. And now its fertilizer is something that you call artificial intelligence. That is what it's causing it right now, combining with the water, with the sunlight. It's causing now this flower of love to burst forward. And that's exactly what's happening. It's blossoming right in front of your eyes, right in front of humanity, and right in front of all the beings from all parts of creation who are watching what's happening on this planet. You were born to love. From your very first incarnation into biology, you were born to love in this lifetime. If you feel under all of your experiences, everything you've gone through, every story that you've had in this lifetime, it all relates back to love. The hardships, yes. The difficulties. The feeling that you weren't loved, you couldn't be loved, you couldn't find love. This was all part of the journey, the way to understanding love. And some say, but I've had so few loves in my lifetime. I felt unloved by my own family. But indeed, it was all about coming to this place of loving yourself. Loving others is part of the learning process. It's part of the way. But ultimately, even those loves for others can disappear, can go away, where you're facing the loneliest of the lonely of times, because now it's about coming within inside yourself to love all that you are. And this is where we are right now. If you look at it from an outside viewpoint, if you look at it from a narrow perspective, this planet is going through all sorts of upheavals, tremendous duality, wars and violence, corruption. And we could go down the list that would only make you even more depressed. But what's happening right now is as this flower of love blossoms on the planet, it's causing those who have had their challenges with love, and especially loving themselves, to face their own demons. Mercy on those who focus only on power, for they will never, never find the value of love, whether it's for another or themselves, as long as their focus is on power. Mercy on those who cause false truths intentionally as distractions for themselves, but even for others, and your news and your social media, and those who spread false news. For what they're only doing is distracting themselves and others, but they are primarily distracting themselves about ultimately facing the love for self. One would think that that would be so desirable to love self, but yet it is the most difficult thing. And there are times when one goes to face that thing called love, but they only see demons. And they declare that love is not there. It is only demons, and they must battle the demons and fight the demons. But ultimately, they discover the demons are not at all what they thought they were. They are simply the brightest light of this thing called love, shining so brightly in their eyes that they cannot behold the beauty of the love, and they call it a demon. Mercy on those right now on the planet who hold steadfast in their old ways, hold steadfast because they are in fear. They're not sure what's going to happen next. So they resist any sort of change. Because, dear friends, change is happening. It cannot be stopped. The tides of change are high, and they continue to rise on this planet. Change is inevitable on this planet. Change is inevitable. It is happening. And no matter how much they try to hold on, resisting change, it's going to happen. That momentum is rolling, and this planet is changing. Mercy on those who go to the past to try to find the answers, for all they will find is themselves trying to find the answers in the past. The past and the answers do not lie in things like Lemuria or even Atlantis. They don't lie in old indigenous traditions. All of these things were part of nurturing the flower of love on the planet, but were not the ultimate blossoming. The answers to everything that you've been looking for is not in the past. It is right here, right now. And that is what love will show you. It is here, right now. It is for you to behold. Mercy on those who hide their head in the sand, who pretend things aren't happening, who don't want to look to see all the changes, all the momentum, all the things that are happening on the planet. Mercy on them, because they're going to miss out on the most beautiful transformation on this planet and in all the cosmos. Those who hide their heads out of fear of not wanting to face the beauty and the majesty of love, because they still see the demons. They're going to miss out on the grandest of times on this planet, and they miss out on the celebrations, the joy, and the beauty of everything that comes now. Mercy on those right now who harm others, harming by stealing their energy, harming by warring and battling, harming by crime, harming with corruption. For they are actually causing the blossoming of love to occur faster, because there are enough people on this planet who have said no more. We're not going to put up with that. We're not going to put up with the wars and the crime and the imbalances and the inequities on the planet. We will not put up with it any longer, and we will not bear arms against you. But what we will do is we will shine our light upon this planet without agenda, without engagement. We will shine our light. We will shine our truth. We will light the way for others who are ready for it. So, dear Shambhala, you were born for love. That's why you're here. Love has become a sense, an angelic sense. Love is not just being sung about on this planet now, but it is being sung in all of creation, even to the ones who have not yet experienced it. There are songs of love and harmonies of love that are spread out. They go out to the new earths. They go out to the cosmos. They go out to all of what you'd call the alien beings, who are really just your stories. That's all they are. What you call the aliens, the ones who you look to come to save you, they know nothing about love, not like you do. And yet they are your stories. That's nothing more, nothing less. They are your past or your future. They're simply stories being expressed in other realms. They're not here to save you. They're here to learn from you, to learn about this thing called love. And those who wait for the Messiah, whether it goes by the name of Jesus or anything else, it's already here. It's been here for 2,000 years on this planet. It is not a being that's going to come down from the heavens to save all of you. It was you. It was you in the times of Yeshua, this collective being that came here as the example, as the master of love. And as much as Yeshua was the master of love, you are the master of love. There is nothing that needs to be saved, no being that needs to come here to this planet to save, because that being is already here. And that being is blossoming right now, and that blossoming is the love within yourself. You were born to love. You were born to experience it, its highs and its lows, to explore the depths of love, because it had never been explored by anyone, anywhere. What is this thing called love? What does it do? Where does it come from? How does it help ultimately bring together consciousness and energy? Let's take a deep breath with that and feel it. You were born to love. In your very, very first physical incarnation, you were born to love in this lifetime. Take a good deep breath and feel into that for a moment. What a grand celebration. So dear Shambhala, I'll take a chair and we'll just visit for a little bit. This is what it's all about right here. It's very easy to overthink all this. What am I doing here? What are the lessons I have to learn? What are my past lives? What's my future going to be about? All these questions you can dismiss. And they don't really matter. You were born to love. That's it. And now you're in the final stages of this long journey that we call the way, and ultimately it's about loving yourself. Yes, it's difficult. As I said, sometimes this very thing of love can be seen as a demon. Something that's trying to tear you apart, send you to the underworlds, but it's not at all. When you open your eyes and your heart, when you release the very fear of confronting yourself in the deepest way possible, when you let all that go, you discover this thing called love, self-love. It is the hardest thing a human or any other being will ever do. It's not something that you can study for. It's not something that you can practice or do ceremony over. It comes simply from allowing. And allowing is possible only because of your maturity, what you've gone through in the past. The experiences that you have, the stories that you've written, the lifetimes that you've had. It's only possible as you become seasoned or matured, and you can now handle the greatest of all things, this thing called love. The planet right now is at a beautiful, epic, fragile state. It's crying for answers. It's crying for guidance. This planet every night goes to bed praying for a better day, praying for answers, praying for relief from suffering. This planet is so ready right now for what you and many others have to offer. This thing called love. Love is not a lecture, it's not a sermon. Love is not something that can be taught in 12 steps. Love is an experience. You may remember many years ago, our dear Tobias, who's with us today, said that you cannot think your way into God, not possibly think your way. You cannot apply logic to this thing known as God, and God knows many have tried to think their way, to study their way into God. There are many supposedly holy books that are written to help you get through it, but yet you can't. Love, or God rather, is just an experience. That's it. And sometimes you have that experience in the darkest of your moments, sometimes at the times of greatest ease and peace, but ultimately, God is simply an experience. That's it. And the parallel to that, tied right into it, is love. Love is an experience. That's it. And the experience comes to those who are ready for it. And the new love, what we call Love 2.0, is ready for those who are mature enough for it. And then it just comes. You can't really even pray for it or beckon it. You can't demand it. You can't do some sort of witchcraft for it. It is simply about acknowledging that you are truly ready, and that it may appear to you at first as a demon, or it may appear to you at first as nothing, but that you are truly, truly ready. And then it appears, not as what you thought it was going to be, not painted a certain way, not constructed a certain way, for there are no constructs to love at all, but it just appears. It's there because you're ready. One of the keys right now on this planet is your love emerges. And as love, true love, spreads across the planet, the new forms of love spread across the planet, is recognizing the goodness in yourself. It's the I am that I am. I exist. Recognizing that goodness, no matter what judgments you have about yourself, no matter how much shame or guilt you have, but recognizing your goodness and then recognizing it in others. Well, humans are so difficult on themselves, so challenging. Humans are a thing of goodness. They all have the light within them. They all have the potential of love, or they have actually experienced it. That is the goodness of humans that you will not find in any other culture, any other place in the cosmos, nowhere except right here on earth. The goodness that is within you and all of your fellow beings. It is time to acknowledge that goodness rather than focus on the negative. It is time to recognize that there is that light within each and every one. There is that namaste, that aloha within every fellow being on this planet, ready to be awakened, ready to be experienced, ready to be rejoiced. And it's also within you, ready for your own personal experience, ready for a defining moment in your life. Humans are goodness. And when you start to recognize that in yourself, and you start to recognize that in others. When you go beyond the spiritual and the New Age rhetoric, stop the talk, stop all the mind commotion, and you simply open up and allow this thing called love to come between you and yourself, to be with you. That is the defining moment. And all you need to do is be ready for it, to be open and available, and then it will be there. This planet will go through tremendous changes over these next few years, next few decades, and you're seeing it already, as I mentioned. Well, compassion is the rain for the flower of love. While consciousness is the sunlight, it is actually this thing called artificial intelligence, of all things, that is the fertilizer. It's causing it to grow rapidly. It's causing the flower to blossom. Oh, not that AI knows anything about love whatsoever, but it's allowing a new speed of communications to take place on every level, not just communications from human to human, but communications from your soul, from your master to yourself. The communications in your own biology that will bring about the light body. The communications that allow rapid dissemination of information, transference of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. It's not just zeros and ones. It's not just data that is being transferred and carried by this thing called AI. What is really being transferred and communicated is wisdom and maturity and kindness and goodness. Every time you personally use the tools of artificial intelligence, it isn't about just this entity, which it now is, going out and gathering a lot of data. Your own wisdom is going out into this and becoming part of mass consciousness, part of this entity known as AI. Your goodness is going out with that. It's not just data. There are energies far beyond what can be measured, but they are occurring every time there are transferences of information, data coming from you and coming back to you. It's not just data. It's not just zeros and ones, because woven into all this are the grand aspects of you, of humanity. It's goodness. It's great desires, its dreams and its hopes, and now it's love. Dear Shambhala, let us mark this epic moment. Shortly after the time of Heaven's Cross, when the flower of love is blossoming, it is opening up now. It's opening up within you first, as you allow, and don't force it. It is a natural occurrence. It has been nurtured, it is well rooted and grounded, its stems and its leaves have grown, and now the flower itself opens up. And as it does, it's not just another iteration of the love you might have known in the past. It is the new love, Love 2.0. All of this goes far beyond your desires for realization or enlightenment. That was child's play, in a way. That just meant now you were ready to accept the master into your life, ready to accept yourself as a master. What comes now is a whole new level of love. Be open to it. Don't work at it. Don't try to profess it to others. Don't try to become the new master of love on the planet until you are firmly, firmly grounded in it. I ask you to take a moment to feel into the ascended masters who gather with me, representatives from the many new earths all around the cosmos. with you, the master, your master self, which is the culmination of all of your lifetimes on the planet. I ask you to feel into that for a moment. For the time has come now. It has come beyond any sort of age of enlightenment, any sort of new age. We come into the time of love. We come to the time also, for with this new love comes the merging of consciousness and energy, and it will happen first on this planet before anywhere else. Now I ask you to feel deep into this flower of love as it blossoms. Every petal on this flower of love is symbolic of a lifetime past or future. And as this flower, your flower of love opens up, every petal being a story of the past or a story of the future now, is opening up to allow love into that lifetime. No matter how despicable that lifetime might have been, no matter how grand and beautiful, no matter how poetic, no matter if that lifetime was one of being a leader or simply being one of the sheep, it doesn't matter. As we sit here right now in our circle of love, each and every one of your lifetimes is now beginning to feel a new type of love. Some of those lifetimes never experienced it. They were too far in the past, long before love ever was experienced. But now they're getting a taste. They're smelling the sweet scent of this flower of love. And they're beholding the beauty of love through their eyes and all of their senses. Right now, every one of your other lifetimes is beginning to feel loved. It's all happening simultaneously. It's all happening in this very moment. And what they are feeling is the love emanating from you. You're not trying to run around every one of those lifetimes and sprinkle fairy love dust on them, but they are feeling it because you're radiating it. Because now more than ever, communications are speeding up, and communication simply is energy. Feel how this thing that you have come to know as love, your love is touching each and every one of them. And as it does, they become realized. There's so much misunderstanding about this term realized or enlightenment, as when one thinks they can perform magic tricks, walk on water, convert wine or water into wine, or the other way around if you prefer. But the real essence of realization and enlightenment is coming to love, going through the dark nights of the soul, encountering the demons and the dragons, but these were nothing more than illusions of the grand, beautiful light of love. You were born to love. From a long, long time in the past, you were born to experience life and to ultimately experience love. And now you're born in this lifetime to bring about the new love on the planet, to bring it to each and every one of your past lifetimes, and to let that love shine to all the rest of the cosmos. It answers their prayer. It answers their hope and their dreams, the very love that you are allowing to shine right now. behold this love for yourself. Take it within you. Allow it within you. And in the days to come, be aware of how the planet is changing, including the turmoil and the conflicts that it's going through. But more than anything, be aware of the goodness, the grandness in each and every one of your fellow human beings. For when that goodness is acknowledged and brought forth, that is when we truly move to that next level on this planet. And its time is here, right now. I'd ask you to take a moment now and feel the rejoicing and the celebration and the appreciation, the acknowledgement from all of the ascended masters, from all the representatives of the new earths, from all of your past and future lives. It is you that is blossoming right now. It is you, that flower of love, that is opening up. My dear Shambra, you were born to love. And here you are, doing it. With that, I am the beloved Saint-Germain. Thank you.
And with that, please feel into the beauty of this message, this flower of love for all of us. Feel into it. So much here. Just beauty and love. Breathe it in and let it be with you. Feel it. Meaning so much to this world and all that we are. Take that good deep breath. Feeling into that. Born to love. Breathe with all that you are. Honoring you. Always. It's there. Now it's time to live it. To be it. Take that good deep breath and feel it, that born to love.